Hey everybody, Hostrone here with another first edition Friday video for you, our second one of 2026. I hope you all enjoyed my music video last week. That's something that's been in my head for years to do, and then I finally had the time to just sit down and do it because I got enough weeks ahead on doing Friday videos that I was able to take the time I needed over a couple of weeks to be able to do that. So I hope you really enjoyed that. It was super fun for me to make. I thoroughly enjoy watching it. Gives me like the goose pimples when I watch it sometimes, because it's finally like this thing that's been in my head for years. And how I did it was I literally worked backward, because like the ending of it had been in my head for a long time, and then like some parts in the middle were in my head for like a long time, and then just filling in the parts in between is what I really had to do. So it was super fun. Hope you all enjoyed it. If you have any such thoughts, feel free to shoot me a message on like if there's one that you've had in your head, like if there's like, oh, you hear a song and you think of something Trek related, and you kind of see it in your head, just shoot me a message, and I can always see what I can do about having that maybe come to fruition. So anyway, hope you enjoyed it. Let's move on with this video. So building off of, the reason I mentioned that for last week is I'm going to build off of that. So what I did is I built off of the idea of Defiant class ship battle, and I built a deck, Federation attack plans. So the idea is we build a deck that leverages attack plans. It's from Dogs of War. And Dogs of War is a set that came out in 2021. So it's a card that's been in the game now for about 4 years. Plays on ops. If your opponent's personnel or ship has ever initiated battle against your DS9 Fed card, your cards have no affiliation, attack restrictions, captain's order. So what we do is we leverage the old Q flash technique. This used to be used to trigger it at Bajor, and you would get a big mass defend homeworld download. So we have leveraged this very old trick of having opponents' personnel relocate from the mission that they're in to Quark's bar. Then the opponent faces a Q flash. That triggers, we hope to have them hit. An issue is patriotism. The issue is patriotism. Force them to immediately initiate battle at one location where they have opposing ships or away teams, if any. If you happen to be at the location where they're at when this happens, then you don't even need that relocation trick, but the relocation trick kind of makes this happen, right? So they relocate to Quark's bar, issues patriotism, forces them to battle, and attack plans does not care about whether it was forced initiation or not. Defend Homeworld was errated, so that you couldn't get the big Defend Homeworld download. That trick's gone, but this trick is available to us. So it's somewhat seed intensive here. We only have 16 dilemmas that we're able to use. I don't think I have those 16 dilemmas. I don't think that they... Oh, they're here. They're all right here. So the 16 dilemmas that we're seeding are all right here. And we have the 2 Chula the Way Homes, and we have 2 copies of A New Game. We dead end a mission to force them into those, and then of course like the 6th mission is usually one that you can identify that the opponent's just not going to go to. They're not going to start at it. Right, and so we can kind of herd the opponent into doing that right away. It's the same trick that the Defend Homeworld download deck did. I'm not reinventing the wheel here, okay? This is a trick that's been around a very long time. What we are doing is, instead of seeding Q flash cards behind it, what we do is we are going to do something a little different, and we're going to use we're going to use the download from Hereby Invitation. Once per game, if your facility commander's at commander's office, you can download an objective. So what we do is we download Beware of Q out of our Q's tent, or actually out of the deck, out of the deck, and then we use the second function, play on your Q flash once per mission location. If they disregard their dilemma here, you can exchange it with a dilemma named Q from Q's tent or hand, and then we have the space, the planet, and the universal, right? So if they attempt with like not that many people, we just grab the dual version, and then the dual version guarantees that we hit the issue's patriotism. If they like big old attempt with like a bunch of people, and you can do the math sort of in your head that they're going to have cunning greater than 60, or integrity greater than 60 and 2 leadership, then you can grab one of the other 2 and you just take your chances. Mathis says 1 in 5 gets you the issue's patriotism. Realistically, since you have 2 copies and a 10 card, when you actually do the actual statistics on it, it actually ends up being around 60-ish% that an opponent will hit the issue's patriotism if they have like if they have to face 5 or more. If they have to face between 4 and 6 cards, it's somewhere between 60 and 77% that they will hit the issue of patriotism. But that's, of course, if you even have to do that. Most of the time, an opponent will attempt with, like, say, 6 people. It'll be early in the game, and they'll attempt with, like, 6 people that they have, and you can feel confident that the Q is going to be enough, right? So, and then, of course, what we really like to do then is hit them with either the penalty box or the quandary or a hide and seek, whatever. And then what happens is they face the dilemma behind. So they face the Chula the Way Home or what have you. Like in an ideal world, they hit the new game and you can download 2 different Chulas, and so you go into the Dyson Sphere and you grab a Chula the Way Home, and then you grab one of the other Chulas, and then they face the way home, and then you can replace the second one with the Q via Beware of Q. We have an extra copy of Beware of Q in the deck in order to download a copy of a Q dilemma. So that extends us from 16 to 17 dilemmas if we draw it. We get another dilemma from the fact that we're seeding Save Stranded Crew to get All-Consuming Evil. So one of the space missions will grab Armus Energy Field and stick it underneath. So that brings us up to 18 dilemmas. So even though we are 14 seed cards, we can basically push ourselves back to 18 dilemmas pretty reliably. And then we also have a copy of Disrupted Continuum that we may randomly draw and then use. But the big thing that we're doing is we are getting the opponent to Quark's Bar. They battle Cisco at Quark's Bar. That triggers the attack plans, and then we have the Valiant, the Defiant, and a escort vessel that we can run around shooting people with. You can even battle on the planet if you want to, and we leverage that with a Kurlan Naskos. We seed that under a planet mission that we plan to attempt first, and then we can turn the Valiant or the Defiant into a ton of weapons that can basically blow up any outpost or NOR, and pretty much I think any station. It won't be big enough for a headquarters, but if you get multiple ships in play, you might be able to get big enough to battle a headquarters. I haven't really done the math on that because battling a headquarters is not really that big of a deal. It's such a corner case, we don't worry about it. So we have some fun little tricks in the deck. We have Community Leader. Once per game at any time, you may download Quark's Bar and a Hollow Suite. Your Quark gains leadership, and then Quark Ramen, your DS9 Frankie bartenders, devil girls, and waiters may mix with all of your cards. So we do have access to that. That gets us basically from our 6 sites up to 8 sites, while also making sure that we can do interesting things. It also basically makes it so that if your opponent destroys your treaty, there's literally only 3 person on the deck that can no longer mix. Everybody else is mixable, and that can't be messed with. The way the meta is with people playing with a lot of, let me help in order to, stretch out things like primal urges and stuff. And then, of course, just the simple fact that females love interest garbage scowl, and then males love interest Turellian plague ship just show up a lot. We're actually choosing to go with Lumba. Again, it's a Quark, so Quark will gain leadership. So he still has 3 skills, and then he has the ability to nullify gender-related dilemmas where present. So we do have the ability to just make primal urges and stuff not hurt us at all. And then we are running the Battle Bridge door that gets us the make it so that we can start downloading captain's orders. That includes attack plans, but we also have condition red in the deck. While aboard your ships, each of your staff personnel gain command at the start of each of your turns. If your opponent has more ships in play than you, you may discard a card from hand to download a ship, and then discard this incident unless you download a universal. Realistically, it stays in play because we just download the escort vessel, because we want to make sure that it's in play so that we are giving all of our staff icons command icons. We have a copy of Holodeck Door to grab the cafe. The cafe can get us some bonus draws, possibly. What its big use for is getting us either Jadzia or Lenara Khan if the other happens to be in play. Jadzia has a ton of skills that are useful for our missions and for dilemmas. Lenara Khan's ability, though, is where the real fun is at. You may play a wormhole interrupt on a location to move her ship there. You are not playing the wormhole for its own text. Its own text does not trigger. Therefore, the ship that you move is not stopped by the wormhole, and then we just have 4 copies of wormhole. The idea is that Lenara Khan gets into play. We slap the Kurlan Naskos onto our Defiant class vessel, and then we can wormhole said ship with Lenara Khan on it to basically anywhere, and then have that big old massive ship just unload the weapons. Keep in mind that our other draw engine is Trust the Prophets to get us the Celestial Temple. DS9 Fed personnel are considered to match DS9's affiliation for purpose related to its sites, so we can always just straight up download Lenara Khan with a science lab. So you will have the ability to make sure that Lenara Khan is in play either with the cafe or with the science lab. And if you get your holodeck door in your hand early, you may want to just simply do that. You may want to simply, if you get Jadzia or you get Lenara Khan, you want to maybe just download the other one, because both Jadzia and Lenara Khan can be downloaded to the science lab. So our play engine then is basically 1 free play with Here by Invitation, 1 free play with the Valiant. We card play something, we hopefully draw a card with Primary Turbo Lift, and we use that to download a genetically enhanced person or a Federation civilian into hand. Or into play. Like if we have Karen Lowe's, then we can download them into play. And so that's kind of how the engine operates. Our draws are to take our end of turn draw. We guarantee Cisco's in play with Defend Homeworld at the Celestial Temple. And then we, of course, have the genetically enhanced people. And so we will grab Surprise Party and Life Simple Pleasures to draw some cards. And then, of course, Morn is in the deck, and we're grabbing Quark's Bar at the start of the game, basically. So if you get Morn, there's another card draw. And that's the deck. I mean, this is how it would kind of look if you're up against, like, say, an Alpha Quadrant opponent. You want to interlace with the opponent as much as you can. And then what you do is you seed the Bajoran Wormhole Mirror Universe. You seed it so that it's close enough to tactical observation so that the Valiant can reach Deep Space Nine in a single range move, but then also be in a place where Deep Space Nine is close to one of your 4 different planet missions. And then that's how you kind of basically choose what planet mission the Kurlan Naskos is going to go under. Of course, you can do whatever you want. Like in this situation right here, we could have decided that we wanted to stick it under Evaluate Terraforming because the opponent might think that Evaluate Terraforming is the mission that are least likely to attempt. So what we could have done instead is we could have easily stuck the Bajoran Wormhole right here, and then had the Kurlan Naskos go underneath here, and then Deep Space Nine is still 1 move away from the Valiant, and our planet mission that we plan on attempting is 1 move away from Deep Space Nine. So the fact that we have 4 planet missions and only 2 space missions means we also know that the opponent's going to have to put their space combos into space. And so when you make space attempts, you know what you're going to be dealing with. You're going to be dealing with Clouds, Gomtus, Cytherians, Persistent Individuality, Arsenal Divided, Temporal Causality Loop, stuff like that. So you know that. So basically attempting space is kind of like the last thing you do. Like you'll attempt the mission with the Kurlan Naskos first, then you'll attempt another planet mission that you can get to, and then we attempt space last. Our missions are basically set up so that you're always going to have like 3 options, but then we also do have Quark's Bar with Lita with the Dabo, right? And so whatever bonus points that you might need to get to 100 points you can do, or to cover point drains or whatever, you do have the Dabo available to you. So we can Captain's Log. We have matching commanders for the Defiant and the Valiant in the deck. You can enhance your weapons further with a tactical console being downloaded. And so realistically, say we Kurlan Naskos the Valiant with both of these things. The rule is set, add, multiply. Set at 10, we add 3, we add 3 to take us to 16, and then we would triple it to 16, 32, 48. So with the Valiant or the Defiant, it doesn't matter, they're both 10 weapons. If we get both of those things onto it, and then the Kurlan Naskos onto it, you can come up with 48 weapons plus your tactic. And pretty much all the tactics, I made sure that everything gives us at least a 1, but the Crimson, except for the Crimson Force Field. But that's the basic. I mean, of course, we have to have evasive maneuvers just as a fallback. But so just the 1 ship, I suppose. And if we do the math, we can get 48 base, and then if you have another Defiant with its commander, or let's just say not commander, we go to 58, and then we can, hit the let's say a weak tactic for 2 or 1, you get 69 giggity. I mean 69 weapons. Office of the President is 42. Office of the Pro Counsel is 44. I think the only, yeah, so Transwarp Hub is 68. So with 2 Defiant class ships with matching commanders and a tactical console, and then any tactic that is at least a +1, which we're going to do because we only have this one and this one that don't give us at least a +1. You would have to basically draw these 3 to only get a +1. Everything else is 2, 3, 2, 2, 3, 4, 4. If you're attacking with multiple ships, it's going to be a 3, 3, 5. So there's only one possible draw where you don't get at least a 2, so we'd come up with 70 weapons. So I think Unicomplex has the greatest number of shields, and it's 74. I think Unicomplex is the only thing you can't tag with that combination. Now, getting both of your Defiant class ships to a Unicomplex is going to be hard. You would need to have 3 wormholes in hand, or the opponent's going to be helping you in some way. But as we've shown, short of that, but against a Borg opponent, you're not really wanting to blow up those things anyway. You're just so big that you can just smash a cube, because a cube is going to be, as long as you get weapons over 50, you can smash a cube. And that's not going to be too hard. You have a very statistically high chance of doing that. But again, it's putting 3 cards into play without the opponent nullifying any of them, right? So, just be aware of the fact that the Kurlan Naskos trick might not even do anything for you because it does play as an event. And so it is Kevin Uxbridgeable or quittable when played, etc. So, but it's really kind of like you're just kind of going after him hard, right? So it's not a big deal if the Kurlan Naskos trick goes off or doesn't go off. Just the fact that you could wormhole in with a ship that was just even a captain's log active on it, that you would be able to have 13 plus your tactic. Like on this draw, we would have 13 plus 5, so we would have 18 weapons available to us. That's going to tag pretty much everything outside of a Borg cube. So as long as you're not playing against the Borg opponent, like your Valiant, your Defiant are all big enough to be able to take on pretty much any ship that you might face. And that's basically the deck. I mean, I can just do a quick little dry run here for you very quickly, just to kind of show you what we're doing. So this is really good. So we get Tim Waters for free. We get Karen Lowe's for free. We card play Lenara Khan. That draws us a card that can download us a person, but we don't need it to. So we just take the card draw. Yeah, that blows. And then we would discard and go get Captain Cisco. We grab Quark's Bar and the Hollow Suite with Community Leader. Cisco goes, walks over to Commander's office, downloads Beware of Q onto our Q flash, and then he can relocate to the Celestial Temple, and then we draw 2 cards. So the first one would be that we would download Lauren or Patrick, whoever we see first, doesn't matter, into hand, and then we just take the other card draw. Opponent has their turn, then we have our turn. We get Nog for free, we get Patrick for free to the Promenade. That draws us a card, so then we download Lauren. And then we can card play a card. We have 3 chicks, 3 dudes. This is, yeah, if more males than females. So as long as we have 3 females, we're fine. So we're fine there. So we can just card play, we'll just card play the Defiant. Then we can walk the Valiant over, dock. We put everybody together. We leave Cisco in the temple, and then we download Surprise Party, and we download Life Simple Pleasures to draw 3. And then the Valiant is kind of our attempting ship, but I would not recommend attempting until you have Bashirin to play, because one of the most popular planet combos is Med Drain, and we can just blow that up as long as we've got him in play. So then end of turn, what we'll do is we'll just take the 2 card draws. Yeah. Then we go to turn 3. We have a Cadet for free to the Valiant. We have Serena for free as Deep Space Nine. That draws me a card. We convert that to the download of Bashir. We can holodeck Door just to grab the cafe onto the Holosuite. And then we can card play Loxana Troy. And then that gives us pretty much everything that we would need in order to feel confident and comfortable. We have a matching commander, so we can discard, make it so, to download Ready Room Door. Ready Room Door grabs us the condition red. We put this back on top of the deck. And then we can put everybody onto the Valiant, and the Valiant can fly to here, and we would be able to attempt with this group, plus or minus if we were scared about it being a Mila blow-up combo. But the Mila blow-up combo is kind of going to be meted out now that SSI is back in the game. And so I would not advise people to play with that combo, because if you go up against the wrong opponent, that entire combo just blanks hard. So as long as we don't think a Mila combo is coming out, we would be able to just go over with this group right here and feel pretty confident that whatever we face, we can deal with. The fact that we have like medical up the wazoo means that we can always just go, okay, Patrick or Lauren or Serena. Actually, can't be Serena. It has to be Patrick or Lauren. Most Cunning Medical would stop to... Most Cunning Medical would stop to the Hippocratic Oath, and then Male's love interest would send Nog away. And then we would just have Serena sacrifice herself as an adopted medical to score 5 points. And then it's stop a medical. So it would stop Karen Lowe's. And then Bashir has 2 medical and a bio, and Lauren has a bio. So we would quite literally blow that combo up and have Bashir solve the mission to acquire the Kurlan Naskos on turn 3. And honestly, I would think that at a point, if they had the Meddrain combo, would put it here, because then they're like they think I'm going to be removing and stopping the things that solve the mission. So, you know, something to keep in mind. Yeah, and then our very next turn, we would assume. Okay, so then we assume the opponent's probably making an attempt. Let's assume that they attempt here in space. They hit the Chula the game. So then we go into our Dyson sphere and we grab the Chula the way home. And let's just grab Chula, pick 1 to save 2 because it doesn't matter. They face the Chula the way home, and that person, a person's going to relocate. They would have to have 3 people who all have integrity of 8 for this not to work. And it is random selection. And if they have 3 people that are 8, the Chula the game actually can make you exclude one of them. But anyway, so they relocate to Quark's Bar. We can at any time relocate Cisco to Quark's Bar as well. And then they face the next dilemma. And the next dilemma, we use Beware of Q. And we go into the Q's tent. And we hit either the Supernova or the Q. Chances are we'd have to actually get Supernova if they're waiting to the 3rd turn. And then we would shuffle the Q flash. And let's just say that their ship has, I don't know, 7 as its lowest number. 1, 2, oh, this was not, that's not shuffled. 1, 2, there it is, found it immediately. And then that triggers our attack plan. And the Chula the way home, if I'm not mistaken, opponent may relocate 1. So as long as we don't pick 3 people with integrity of 8 and any of them have strength less than 7 or strength less than 8, we would be able to move the person with strength less than 8. Benjamin Sisko whoops him, punches him back in the face, and then that will make sure that our attack plans are good. And then of course, like the rest of the Q flash would continue on. It's a party wouldn't trigger. It's just patriotism as duplicate. Then the quandary hits and they're going to lose 5 points, possibly, and then a Mandarin Bailiff. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Nope, there's one more. Just another Mandarin Bailiff. Okay, so that would be the Q flash that would happen. But the penalty box and the quandary hit them to take 2 people out. And then, yeah, we're good to go. Because then what can happen is on the next turn, we can just go Kurlan Naskos on the Valiant. Oh, we had to draw our 2 cards, or 3 cards, by the way, at the end of our turn. And then Kira plays for free and draws us a card, and we can just convert that into the download of Jack. Directly to her. So, play for free, downloaded. Card play was the Kurlan Naskos. And then we have Lenara Khan in play, so we would beam up to here. We would just beam up, We can move back to Deep Space Nine because we have 24 range. Well, we will here in a moment, but we have the 8 range we need. And then with this group of people, I'm pretty sure we have, well, Patrick's busy. We have officer, security, medical, science engineer, and then we just think VIP civilian. And then VIP civilian comes from basically Lauren, or Loxana, Troy, and Lauren have VIP. So officer, security, medical, science engineer. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then we have wormhole in place. So we can just play wormhole. Let's say our opponent is like right here. We could wormhole if we wanted to, but we wouldn't need to. Because we have all the range we need, we can just literally fly to here with a Kurland Nace Coast Valiant, and we can open fire on their ship. Because we assume that they would then probably get stopped by an Arsenal Divided, and if not the Arsenal Divided, then the Clown hits them. And if the Clown hits them and puts their ship on timeout, then we maybe consider just blowing up whatever outpost or facility that they have at this location. Because we just go ready room door. Because we ready room door for our attack plan, and we can just protect. And we can protect it if we need to, or want to. Otherwise, we can stick it back on top of the deck. But we have 30 weapons here, and then plus a tactic, which means that any outpost that's 32 or less is almost undoubtedly going to go down. We're going to take a punch. That's what I meant to say. Cool. So that's the deck. Hope you enjoyed the video. The deck list will be in the description for the video. I hope you guys had a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And if you don't celebrate one or either of those things, whatever you celebrate, I hope it was good. I hope you have had a really good holiday season. May the profits be with you.